Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to modify the report templates that are used in Profusion PSG within nXus 360, specifically pointing out the active text function and the report wizard. So we're just logging into our site here. I'm logging in as administrator, which you will not have all the privileges that I have as admin, but I'm just showing you this so that we have full functionality here. And this site also has two-factor authentication enabled. So activation code has been sent to my smartphone, and I just type this in. This is time lock, so it changes every 30 seconds, and specific to this site. So now, in terms of the permissions for reports, this is generally going to be something that will be set up by your lab manager. So you probably, as a regular user, will not have to worry about this so much. But one thing to point out is that you do need to have the correct permissions to be able to see them, edit them, delete them, etc. The way your lab manager will do this is go into the Manage menu, into Security and Groups. As I mentioned, I'm in the admin group, but I'm just going to have a look here for lab managers. And this can be set up dependent on your particular needs. And what I want to draw your attention to here is if we go down to the bottom, you can see this section called Report Templates. So what this is doing is we've given anyone who's assigned to the Lab Managers group permission to view the report templates in Profusion or nXus 360, to create new templates, to edit existing templates. But in this case over here on the right-hand side, we haven't given the Lab Managers permission to delete the report templates. So first, before you can do anything, you need to have the appropriate permissions set here at the group level. So then to go in and have a look at the templates, we go back to Manage, Templates, and Report Templates themselves. So these top report templates here at the top level are those ones that appear in Profusion. Letter templates is covered by another YouTube video, and that's basically any sort of letter that you have that's not necessarily using the data from Profusion PSG, but you want to extract information from the service details, for example, so that you can then put it in a letter. So a physician's written order for CPAP might be a good example. Email templates are for workflow notifications, which there's another YouTube video on, and lab report templates is something different for management efficiencies, etc. And there'll be another video on this. So today we're focusing on report templates themselves. So if we go in here, if you've got the relevant permissions, you'll actually be able to see the templates that we have on the particular site at the moment. We can download these, we can delete them, we could even copy them. Over here on the right-hand side in the top right corner, we've got a copy button. So I could choose to duplicate a report and save it as a different file name. So you might want to make small alterations. This will be the way you do that. Duplicate the report, make those alterations, ensure it's all okay, and then delete the original or keep the original. You also have the ability to upload reports, so this green button next to the copy button on the right-hand side. So if you did extensive report templates in Word, for example, particularly maybe for the active text functionality, you could then upload it. And from then on, you'd use the inbuilt editor within nXus 360. And it's important to point out that when we go into this editor, it's not Microsoft Word at the moment, okay? And so there is some limitation on functionality. So the first one I want to draw your attention to is the active text demo. So active text, in a very simplistic way of presenting it, is when you have drop-downs appear in the Profusion report template. Select those drop-downs, and instead of inserting one word, we'll insert a whole sentence or a paragraph, depending on what you've pre-programmed. And that sentence or paragraph can also have secondary drop-downs within it. So let's have a look at this template here, the active text demo. Just click on the pencil. Here we can see two minor things I want to point out is here you do have the ability to add headers and footers. So here we've got a logo in our header. And also, a question that's commonly asked is, for those sites that are using barcoding functionality, yes, you can insert a barcode in the footer and then allow you to continue your other work dependent on that. So this has already been pre-programmed, and basically what you have is these items signified in the red are those with active text functionality. And to show you that working, I'm just going to close down out of the template viewer, go into a study. Here we have a study that we recorded earlier. So I'm going into the service details, the blue folder, and to the document section, just to see what existing reports are already there. So you can see here, there's nothing there. All we've done is recorded data, but we haven't made any reports yet in Profusion. So what I want to do is click on this Profusion 4 icon. Typically what happens is once the scoring's all been done, the physician will go in to generate a report, and we simply do that by clicking on the New button here and assign the report a name. So we're going to call this just Active Text Demo. And we're going to choose a template. So here, this list will match the list of report templates that we saw within Nexus 360. So I'll choose that particular template, select OK. Now it's populating the report itself. Don't pay too much attention to any details you see in here because the data is not clinically relevant, it's just a demo site. But here we can see those items highlighted in red that have the active text enabled. So essentially here what I can do is the physician is go through and right click on those, and it will give me the various options that have been pre-programmed. So if I select one of these, press OK, it will insert the text. If I go to the next one, choose a different option. So you can go through the whole report doing this depending on, this is quite a complex report, so it depends on the functionality you require. One thing that's quite nice here is if we have a look at the recommendations part, and once again, right click, here we can see single words or just a few words to describe each option. But what happens is if I click on this CPAP, for example, it'll insert a whole sentence that's been pre-programmed with a secondary drop-down within it. So now to that secondary drop-down where it says CPAP or auto, I can click on that, right-click, and basically get different options and select one of those. So that's active text in terms of using it for report templates. And this is quite a complex template that we have here, just as an example. Okay, you can really have simple drop downs as well, where you don't have to have it inserting paragraphs, etc. You can just have it inserting the word. That's fully supported in Nexus 360. So what I want to do is just close out this study by, on the top right hand side, this red X. Just make sure I keep it in the same state. Okay, and we're just closing these tabs down. So now what I want to do is go back into the templates. So manage, templates, report templates. What I want to show you here is the report wizard. And the report wizard is something very powerful that's basically developed by Compumedics. Compumedics are one of the only companies, if not the only one, to supply this sort of tool for Profusion report writing, which basically means that you can have an easy wizard tool that inserts the relevant code that you require. So if you just need to insert a code, you don't have to call Compumedics and ask us to do it for you. Okay. So we're going to go to a very, very simple report here, which is the short sample report with signature embedding. I'm just going to the inbuilt viewer by clicking on this pencil. Okay, so very simple here. It's a very simple report, and I use this just for showing digital signing, which is another YouTube video on, so you can have a look at that. What I want to do is just go to a part of the report, and we're going to insert a different code. Clinically meaningless at the moment in terms of this report, just to show the functionality here. Okay, so if we go up onto this menu bar, you'll see you've got a file, edit, standard sort of menus, but in the view menu, you have your report fields toolbar, and this is a report wizard. Okay, so if we select on this, it brings up this dialog window. And what we could actually do here is go down in various categories within Profusion, and it's providing the sleep stats here. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of stuff that we're looking at here in relation to CPAP, for example, different events that happen. So end-tidal CO2, if you have that, heart rate statistics. So typically, rather than looking through a PDF manual or trying to remember what the code is or copying and pasting, you can select on these categories. So we're looking at heart rate statistics, and you could say, I need to find the average heart rate throughout the report, for example. And you can see here, it's quite complex. You've got average heart rate throughout the report, throughout sleep, throughout non-REM, etc. But what it's done is once I select the relevant topic of interest or indice of interest, you can see down here we've got a description. So basically saying that it's the average heart rate in a report time measured in BPM, but it gives you that code. So this is a code that is otherwise meaningless to you, but that's what Profusion is looking for. So really simple. All we now do is basically make sure that we choose the correct indice, and then up on the left-hand side here, just click the green plus button, so insert field. So now you can see that I've inserted the field just here, and if I ran this report in Profusion, it would automatically calculate its indice, and then basically insert it in that section of the report. Okay, well, I hope that gives you better insight into active text functionality and the report wizard itself, and we hope you enjoy these features in Profusion and NEXUS 360. Thank you.